So hey guys, here's a quick little bit of Vernon advice. If it come up Toll Road as I was setting off from the east side, from Denver, so I it's really important, you've got to get used to using the atlas. I didn't use the atlas for a long time because I was just doing Spain, regular routes, Germany, Italy or England and stuff like that, and knew basically where I was going, where the toll roads and stuff like that. With our old man my boss, and doesn't like the toll roads, oh no, sorry. But to be fair, this is pretty expensive. It's like 60 bucks for this toll road, you know, and I have run a couple of toll roads this time, so I know I'm going to be in trouble for that, and a finger beating when I get back to the yard or something. But hey ho, I couldn't avoid that from I was getting pissed with them. But there you go. I won't do it next time. Learn by your mistakes, hopefully. So as I punched it in at first, it said avoid toll road. To avoid toll road on the GPS, it was sending me way up towards the Wyoming state line, which would have, any other day and time, would have been fine. I'd have run across that US whatever it was or something or other, US road, which isn't a freeway, it's a US road, but which is basically the same, but you'll get traffic lights and running through more towns and things like that. But any other time I would have run it. But at the moment, Wyoming is a shit show. They've got snow like it's going out of fashion. The further freeway, just a little bit up from that, is all shut down and everything like that. So I don't really want to be going anywhere near that, because I can imagine there's going to be a shitload of traffic on there as well, because people will be ducking down trying to get through. And I think it's pretty close. It might be not very good. So get your atlas out. Let me put my Beverleys on. Get your atlas out, have a look, get used to using it, really get used to using it. It's a lot easier to use one of these than your Garmin maps to find out where the toll is. So I know there isn't a toll as a rule going all the way across. It's not, and the Garmin, and all TomToms, all of them, will send you miles out the way to miss the toll road, when in fact this is the only little bit of toll road that is on that like 2,000 mile route that I plugged in. Only that little bit. But to avoid that, it sends you well out the way. So find out where your actual toll is. There's the little black bit, there's the toll, and then all this road's the toll, right? So I only have to jump off here on the 470 and come round and rejoin it again. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So just when you get a bit closer to where you know where your thing is, you avoid your toll. There it is, look, just drop down there, and I've missed it. It is going to be, adds 58 mile. I don't believe that, because I don't think I have to go all that way. It should reroute itself when I get there and go down. So just bang that in, and everybody's happy, and nobody's going to be whinging, and you know where you are. Like I say, it wasn't a choice of going all the way high and going up the other road, because of the weather the way it is at the moment. So get a bit closer, read your map first, have a look at your route, plan it all out, and then it should be all right. I've got tornadoes as well I'm chasing away from at the moment, which is always fun, isn't it? So we've got, I'm in the middle of a bit of a storm at the moment, but it's not too bad. As you can see, I'm right there and just coming out of it. Hopefully I'll get on and miss these actual tornadoes, because none have hit ground yet or anything like that, but they're saying they're forecast. They're just covering themselves, and they're forecasting that it's going to be a bit of a shit show. That's a bit further to my east and just slightly below me, but so hopefully they will stay there. I don't know if you can hear me over this, but at least visibility isn't too bad. And it's watching the drop. Oh dear. As I said before, keep watching your satellite. Have a satellite radar thing on your weather, and then it gives you a bit of hope knowing that you're not that far going to be in this. So sometimes it's better just to persevere, ride the storm out and drive through it, rather than just sat there. I know I haven't got far. I'm going to be out on the other side of this, as you can see. I've had about since I left the rest area it's been like this, but there we are, and we're out the other side. That's been hanging round over here, St. Louis and what have you, all morning and all day. So you can't think, oh, if it gets really bad or something like that, I'm gonna sit it out and watch it. You need to know what it's doing, where it's going. Is it coming across? Is it staying still? Because you could sit there for a couple of hours if you really didn't like driving in it, only to be fine in a couple of hours' time. It's exactly the same, you know. And if it ain't that wide, as you can see on the radar, with all the modern technology shit and stuff like that, you can roughly plan it out and make it out and know where you stand. But be very cautious on the side of the hurricanes, tornadoes rather than shit like that. It will all of a sudden come wind. I can't remember it. It was 3 years. It goes windy first, then rainy, or the other way around. I can't remember. I think it comes really, really windy. Then you'll get the rain. Be warned that the hailstone will drop all of a sudden. You'll be going like this, temperature will drop, keep an eye on that temperature, but you'll get a white over on the road with a drop of a hat, but seriously, it will all of a sudden. And then your problem is, you've got your, obviously, it'll just go like a carpet, it'll lay down like a carpet. Then you get cars panicking and people panicking, they all want to jump on the brakes. You've got to be ready for that, because it's alright, you might not be alright and be ready and prepared for it, but you've still got to think you've got to stop before that person up there who's just jumped on the brakes in their car, and then they've speeded off again. But meanwhile, you've had to lock all up and you're in the dyke bottom with no other car involved. So it's just forward planning, it's just thinking, anticipate to speculate. I was just thinking as I'm coming along, the Loves is up there, up yonder on the left, and I have got enough fuel to last me another 150 miles, but I'm not going to. I'm going to fuel up in there and then see if I can get some parking. That's me done for the night. I was thinking how things have changed. The big neon love heart sign of the Loves is like, gives me joy now, thinking that's the end of the day. Fuel up, park up, and I'm done, shower and what have you, and happy days. Whereas 20 years ago, maybe a little bit longer even, 20, 25 or something like that, a big neon light shining saying club on it was like my sanctuary for the night. You know, one of them truckers' discos that I talk about. But hey, how things change now. It'll be a root beer in the Loves. And fuel up. Like I say, this is in Kansas now I am, which it's been a hell of a day all day. I've been fighting with the wind and the storms and stuff like that, which it's been sleeting a bit as well as the weather. It hasn't been brilliant, but I've managed to keep going and keep it lit. Even though it's not been a side wind or anything like that, like you get in Wyoming, a big old gust of side wind. It's been buffering me all over the place, and the roads aren't very good here either, so it's been fighting with the roads and stuff. But hey ho, we survived. And yeah, because this is in Tornado Alley right here now, and it's tornado season, happy days, which I've managed to stay just in front of the major tornadoes at the moment, or start of them. One hasn't started, but the major storms, I'm just on the cuff of them, which is pretty good. I've got my next load. My next load is a load of beer that I'm meant to be loading tomorrow, but I'll see what time I get to Kroger. I'm only 445 mile away from my destination now, so I don't want to set off too early in the morning. That's only like 6.5, 7 hours. I don't want to leave too early because that being starting my clock too early. My booking isn't till 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, and Kroger is like your Walmarts and places like that. You know you're going to be there forever. It's going to be a 4-hour tip. So even if I get in there for 5 o'clock, they'll let me in. I ain't going to be leaving till 8 o'clock a bit. So it is what it is, you know what I mean? Just expect it like I said before, and then nobody's disappointed, all things are good. And then yes, I'm loading beer after that. Load of beer, which is an excellent load. That's going straight back to about 20 miles from my house. So that's ideal. I'll get that on And hopefully if I get it on tomorrow, I aren't too fussed if I don't get it on till Friday now, to be fair. But if I get it on tomorrow, it's a bonus. I can do a little bit up the way, and it's only, what will it be? It's 1,300 miles to home from there. It's 1,300 miles from home. But my problem is, I'm going through Wyoming, which has been shut down for the last 2 days. People have been parked up there, southern Wyoming. The weather, big snowstorms, really, really bad. Not very good at all up there. So, and they still didn't have a date when it's going to be open. It's been a proper shit show. They've had big problems. So, it's going to be what it's going to be. I told the wife, I'm not sure when I'm going to be home. I'll be home when I'm home. But at least, you know, I'm loading directly for home, and I'm not loading for somewhere else or some shit like that. That'll be me. If I don't get it, delivers Monday, so they'll have the road open hopefully, because they haven't had any more snow in Wyoming. The tornadoes are further, like I say, further behind me now. Like I say, on the fuel, I've got 150 miles, but where I'm running, if a tornado does hit, you could be parked up for a couple of days and stuff like that. Always check your reefer, how much fuel you've got in there. Make sure you've got enough. That's the last thing you want to be worrying about. If you're stuck in snow or a tornado, your fuel's starting to run out on your reefer, then you're going to have to mess about trying to get fuel out the truck or something like that to put in the reefer, because you don't want to lose the load, as well as being stuck there for 2 days. You know what I mean? It's just, the forward thinking saves you so much time and messing about. It really does. I've got to go. See you later. This doesn't happen often at this time of night, but a space somebody's just pulled out over there. Couldn't believe it. I thought, bloody hell. So that'll work for me. I'll tell you. Let's just swing it right round. Oh, no, I should have gone the other way actually. Yeah, this time of night, space doesn't come up. One of the other reasons I just want to say as well, why get fueled up on a night before you hit any adverse weather and stuff like that. When people are all backed up and they're all waiting, starting to fuel up a lot of the time the tankers aren't going to get through as well. And it doesn't take long. If you've watched my other videos, every time you come into one of the big truck stops or anything, which there are lots of them, as you know, where's the light? I can't see a bloody thing. Hang on a minute. That's better. Cab lights are on, I can't see out my windscreen. Yeah, with if the fuel trucks aren't getting through, they only need to be held up a bit, and you're going to soon run out of fuel, they will. Turn that annoying thing off. So, you know, you don't want to be stranded with no fuel, as well as stuck out in the middle of nowhere. Because there's a lot of fuel pumping through these places, with, you know, these trucks constantly filling up and that. And each one's going to be putting, I don't know, each one's putting 150 plus in, I'll bet. He looks happy. My new neighbour. Just let him get in there. Oh, what a film night! It's just want to get packed up, get that bunk heater on, and have a cosy night. Good night. Little catch up. I'm only 177 miles away from my destination now. Got my reload, a load of beer tomorrow, going back home. I think I told you that. Did I tell you that? Or have I had to sleep since then? I can't remember. Maybe, so that's loading tomorrow as well. 9 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock tip, this one. Excellent loads, brilliant, well happy. The other day I was working on the truck. I forget what I was doing. I was doing something or other. And I had my little toolbox out. A wee toolbox that I've had for a long time since being here. And I forgot to put it in the box that I've got on the back. And set off and lost it, obviously, off the back. And it was real snowy up there where I was and stuff like that. And I have like attachment issues, so I'm getting pretty pissed about that. I'd lost the tools and I'm, bummer, you know, and bought some more anyway. But they're only cheap, but it was a little socket set and an adjustable spanner that I've had for a long time. So I'm just doing my checks round now. All the sun's gone, and I can't believe the weather. Here I am in Kansas. And it's absolutely beautiful. Nice little rest area here. And I'm doing my checks and all the snow's melted now and all gone. It's even brought the truck up quite clean and what have you. So I'm glad I didn't clean it. Otherwise that would have been a waste of a clean, wouldn't it? And here was said toolbox was down there. Hooked in there. So it's obviously slidden off here and dropped in there. 2,000 plus miles or whatever. Sat racking away in there. Incredible, so I'm well chuffed about that one. Got my toolbox back, a bit wet for wear and things like that, but all the parts are in there. So, well chuffed. And don't say you didn't do these checks properly if you didn't say it was all snow and shit like that. I had scraping all the snow off. When you do your checks and what have you, get your head in there and have a look. Sounds wrong, doesn't it? Get your banner in there. When you check your tyres and shit like that, get right in. It's not rocket science, it's not difficult. And have a little look round. Don't just go kicking tyres and stuff like that. Don't do it every time, but once in a while. I always kick my tyres every time I stop. Always, always. But little things like your split pins, they do drop off eventually, and you might lose a pin and stuff like that. Then you ain't got your slack adjuster isn't adjusting or anything like that. Your brake's still going to work, but your slack adjuster ain't going to work. But just little things like that, it's going to cost you so much. If you get rummed on a scale and they see that, they're going to want to call out on it. They're going to, you know, it's going to be a big fuck show. And don't just turn around and say, that's not my problem. You know, that's not my problem. It is your problem if you're on the scale, because it's going to cost you time. And remember what happens? We don't have the time. It's our enemy, isn't it, the time? Always fight against the time. So you don't want that. Plus it's going to cost a call out for the company, blah, blah, blah. It is your maintenance. It is your priority, your fault. If it's not right, it'll be down to you. You know, at the end of the day, you've got to check. There is some things that you can't do yourself and what have you, and you wouldn't get blamed for, you know, if the engine goes pop or something like that. But shit like that is down to the driver. It really is. Your company will get a fine, you'll get a fine, and you'll be stopped there until you get a call out or something and somebody does that. I've just been and spent the company some money on the company. I like doing that. Gives me great pleasure. No, not really, but I wanted some new airlines. It's been rubbing a bit on here, and I put these tie wraps around. It's not through, it's just to protect it from rubbing on there. And you can get these plastic ones that go all around. I've been looking at them for a while and thought, yeah, they're pretty trick. I'll have some of those. And I've just been and bought myself some. So I can get rid of all this. This, because it looks shitty. Even though it's not rubbed through, it was a precaution. I'd already put them on, the tape and stuff like that, to stop the rubbing. But if I know for a fact, if I get stopped on the scale or anything, they're not gonna like the look of it. They're gonna want me to pull the tape off and mess about and stuff like that. So I bought a brand new set. So I'm gonna fit them when I get to my delivery point, which is rocket science, you know. It's only I've got to take these off here and put some new glad hands. These are called glad hands over here in the US. On those I've got some brand new ones as well, nice and shiny. So that's all good. Onwards we go. So I'm now into Colorado, shooting along, and check out Greedy Man here. This man has got this truck lit. What a beauty that is. For a greedy cab, you know, I don't usually like the style, but that looks pretty cool there. That's quite in with the contour and what have you. That's nice, yeah. That's a removal truck. He'll be going state to state across coast to coast probably, or Indiana or wherever. Regular stops and things like that, where he knows where he can get that huge great rig in there. As I've mentioned before, they'll well, I'm doing a little over the speed limit, and he's pulling away from me. I'm doing just over 75 there I was. No, actually that was up to 80. He's doing about 85, 90, that man, he's lit. Anyway, got places to go. Hurry, obviously. Somebody wants their house moving. It's very bumpy, is this road. Jesus, man, it's horrible. Anyway, yeah, the greedy thing there, having that as well, the advantage of that man in a big truck, a long truck, with his jacuzzi and whatever he's got in the back and shit like that. They can be stuck for a few days loading the trailer. I think I've mentioned this before if people haven't heard the other videos. You know, they might be 4 days, 5 days or whatever loading a trailer. They get paid extra for that. I think they get paid pretty well. So the driver usually assists loading the trailer. They'll have other people in different areas who the labourers basically, who they'll pay, and they'll bring, fetch, carry and shit like that. So, you know, having a bigger truck is pretty much of an option. It's a pretty good deal really, and that occasion it works pretty well. There you go. Anyway, just as well, I forgot about this. I was going to go to St. Louis. All plans to St. Louis. I've been wanting for ages to see. God, man, we're all over the road. Wanting to go see the Mack truck out of Convoy, and as far as I knew, it was in St. Louis in the truck museum there, where the motor museum there. Happy days, great. So I don't usually come down this road, and I had time. I thought, great, I'm going to pan down there. Rang the woman up. She explained to me that it used to be there, yeah, and she'll do some digging out, but she hasn't seen it, and it was definitely at that place when she did a Google search. Anyway, she rang me back, lovely lady, and she said, well, I rang her first. She said, yes, the good news is you can fit in our car park, because I inquired about getting in the car park as well. This looks like it's going to be a bang. Can fit in her car park, super nice, but the truck isn't there anymore. Oh, great. The truck was owned by a private owner, which is a lot of the vehicles in museums are on loan, so it was loaned to them. But he sold it 3 years ago. Obviously brought it out of the museum to a private collector. The private collector, last she could find out or hear, couldn't find anything on the internet, had headed over to Colorado, which I'm at the moment, Colorado. So somewhere is the last remaining, basically, Mack off the Convoy, because they had a few of them, with the original tanker, somewhere here, and we can't find anything else. It's not been showed or anything, so looks like I need to do a bit more searching. So here's the situation. I am chocolate bar in the Love's truck stop. With the parking is horrendous. So I'm parked on actually where I shouldn't be parked, but I didn't think on the car park is absolutely heaving. Went in for a shower, and there's the queue's about 2 hours long for the shower. Absolutely horrendous. Because I didn't think, obviously this has all been shut down for 2 days. Nobody could get unloaded, nobody could get in or anything like that. All of a sudden there's a backlog of all the traffic, the trucks and everything, trying to get unloaded, trying to get to their place, and obviously they're backlogged in the warehouses and places you can't get in to get unloaded. Shit, I never thought about that. So I'm just going to make the phone call and see what's happening where I'm unloading, see if they're going to unload me or not unload me or anything. Which is a shit show in there. It's just taking me ages to get in and out of the actual car park, so I won't be going back in there again, that's for sure. So you don't think of the I didn't even pat across my mind that there'll be a backlog of everybody trying to get unloaded and shit like that. So let's just see what we can come up with. Or I might just rock up there. Guys, the outcome is like I thought. It is an absolute shit show in here. He won't even book me in. He didn't even look at it. He's a nice guy, but he's overwhelmed at the moment. His security guy, obviously, he's got fucking trucks coming out of his ears. They're everywhere. The whole street leading up to here was chock-a-block. So obviously, you know, you get a shitload of snow dumped down really quickly. You've got nowhere to go. You can't get unloaded. You imagine this car park. It's a lot of, obviously it's gone really quick as it came down basically. But that was 2 days ago. And, oh, there is part, oh no, can I? Do you think I could sneak in between that one and go diagonally? Maybe not. He says, go and try and find somewhere to park. Either on the street out there and then come back and I'll check you in and we'll just have to go from there, obviously, as you can see, which, you know, there's no point in getting pissy with the guy because there's nothing he can do about it. It is what it is. It's the weather. But I can see me being here for a day or so. I really can. So I'm not even going to go in that car park. I'm not even going to attempt it. Because that would be just silly to go in there to get stuck. So now find somewhere to park and then trotty trot back down again. And if the worst comes to the worst, well, this is a bollocks. I had a brilliant load as well. I'm maybe gonna miss that. We fingers crossed. We get unloaded tomorrow, you know. Then that'll work. I'll let you know. Look at this. This is the second street out, and look how far out. I know they're not just for Kroger. There's another big supermarket chain there, but this is just crazy. Seem to have dump trailers everywhere as well. I'm gonna use their dump trailer yard to turn around. Yeah, it's funny, you wouldn't see that in Europe or England, would you? Just dump trailers randomly. They definitely, I don't think, would be there. There is obviously places you can't leave them. Where was it the other day? In New York, I wouldn't leave my trailer unattended. But, you know, and they do go missing now and then. It's not as though they don't. They do. It does happen, but it's not like in England or Europe where it would go missing all the time. Jesus Christ, they actually take them out of people's yards, the trucks now. That is so ballsy. Just go in the yard, break in the yard, and take the bloody truck and trailer. Which amazes me on a little island, they never catch them. They disappear. What the hell's all that about? Especially when it's got some company's name written, splattered all over the door. I've seen it a few times and think, how the hell did they get away with that? Somebody's obviously not doing the job. Let's not get on that rant about up the A1 where the police think it's quite alright to put signs up. High risk area. High fucking risk everywhere. Do something about it, cock.